Welcome to the inaugural session of Mr. Wargaming's live solo classic traveler role-playing game campaign. I've got the FFE edition here that this is a game that's sometimes about space pirates, and sometimes life imitates art. I printed it up in large, full size, 8.5 by 11s, which shows up a little better on camera than the normal digest size. Nice clean scan for Mary Beth. God bless him. Mark Miller, all-time treasure. Can you imagine how much worse the world would be? Like, what are the odds that Mark Miller and Frank Chadwick would cross paths and create such a wonderful, just a plethora of solid gaming? Two of the all-time greats. And there they are. Penfold, welcome to the chat. We, today, are really just going to be doing... I got to warn you guys. I'm not... Oh, by the way, this is the Penfold sector. We'll just get that right. Let me write that down right here real quick. Penfold. That's how we do. You show up, you say hi. Corvinus. We're going to name something after you today, Corvinus. I don't know, Big Battle Little Worlds. I don't know about you. Harkwind is a great name for a system. We'll get to that. Let me do a little introduction first before we start naming things. Here's the deal. I'm not going to go over how to play this game. There are a ton of videos about how to play Classic Traveler. I highly recommend you go look at Basic Expert. He goes through all 3 Little Black books in great detail, flip through, live read, kind of analysis and all that stuff. I've never played this game. I am not an expert. We are going to be doing a fumble through, and I'm going to be leaning heavily on the chat for advice, suggestions, how we move forward. You guys are going to be... So there's this thing, for those of you that don't know, in solo RPGs, there's this new system called an oracle, where it's like a catch-all, like almost an I Ching for solo role-playing games. And you can use that for all kinds of stuff, but I don't have that. I don't have oracle. I don't have I Ching. What I got is you guys in the chat. So I'm going to be leaning heavily on you. And we are going to be playing, now unlike a lot of people, we are going to be playing this almost strictly by the book. We're going to deviate in a few ways. Bear in mind this is a solo game. So there are a little bit of massaging must be done in order to make this really work as a solo game. We're not going to be downloading, or we're not going to be purchasing or printing off, print on demand, any of the official adventures, because those don't really work. Like even the one called Marooned Alone I was reading, and it's like, yeah, Marooned Alone, but it's not a solo game. It's still 1v1. So forget that. Forget the, go watch some of the other, like Ardwolf is the other big name that's going through a lot of the modern day stuff. We're going to limit ourselves to the 3 Little Black books, and of course, a wide range of material from which we are going to beg, borrow, loot, and steal everything we can. It's called books. H-Beam Piper, Doom Arrest of Terra. There's a little TV show you might have heard of called The Firefly. There's Elite. I think this game is based on the Elite video game. He said, tongue firmly in cheek, waiting for people's heads to explode. No, Elite, the video game, comes from Traveler. And there is, speaking of which, I was watching Firefly last night, and in the very first episode, there is a little nod at the end of the first scene where the pilot says, "Hang on, travelers." And I was like, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Oh. And the wife kind of gave me that funny look that our wives give us when we do things like that. But I caught the reference. I got that reference. Congratulations to you if you got that reference about I got that reference. Anyway, the point is, we're going to be doing a solo campaign. We're going to be exploring a subsector together. And we're going to do things a little bit differently. And one of the things that I found, and I've been doing a lot of research, like watching videos, and just as a brief aside, the role-playing game community is weird. I specifically ask people, hey, are there any after-action reports for what people have actually done when they play Traveler, ideally Classic Traveler? And there were all kinds of people jumping in saying, yeah, here's a video, here's a video, here's a video. And I was just like, words, do you read them? And so then I watched a bunch of videos, and honestly, a lot of those videos are, they're smart guys. They know more than I do, but they definitely have a voice made for print. And most of them are doing very similar things. So you can watch a few of them, get the general scope. And a lot of guys said, oh yeah, I'll tell you how to play Traveler. It's a 2d6 roll under system. And then I, as the DM, just decide whether you're at +2, -2, whatever, and then we're good. And I'm like, Okay, so you can do whatever you want with Traveler. I get that. What I want to do is I want to play Traveler by the book. There's two things that I have to do though, because I'm going to implement two things that no one else has done, at least and recorded. And the first of those is I'm going to do this in one-to-one time. And we've talked about this on the channel before. For those of you that don't know, when you are not at the table, 1 day passes in the campaign for every day that passes in the real world. Traveler is built for that style of campaign. I'm not the first to point this out. The guys over in Castalia House, who, by the way, have the best after-action reports that I've found. There's only a few of them from back in 2018. Wonderful after-action reports detailing what they did right, mistakes they made, what they would have done different. Very informative. I highly recommend you check it out. Guys like Jeffro Johnson, the guy who originally popularized one-to-one time, Brian Reninger, he plays as Fluid the Druid, one of the RPG all-time greats, smart guy, knows a lot about this. I'm going to be leaning on him and asking him for advice. So Castalia House Traveler, I highly recommend you go look that up if you want to read some solid after-action reports. So that's the first thing, one-to-one time. And this game is built for it because, for those of you that don't know, when you jump from one hex to the next, anytime you make a jump, your starship has to get further than 100 diameters away from the nearest planet. And that generally takes about a week. So it takes you a week of sailing, and then you jump to the next hex. Okay, well, that's great, right? Today is February 15th. Even got the pencil, right? I had to stock up for the year. That means when I get to this hex, it's February 22nd. Now, I can keep playing as far as I want, but I got to be careful how far into the future I play, because this is not the only person active in the campaign. There's going to be a second group that we run. That means if today we were to say, and I don't think this will happen, but if we were to go do a 3-week adventure, I got to wait for the real world calendar to catch up. That means I got to wait until the first week of March. Well, now I'm sitting on my hands and I'm bored. I have two options. I can go to the other group in this campaign, and if I still, if they're tied up for another week and I still want to do some solo playing, then I can kick things back over to the AD&D campaign, and that's why I said in the last video, we're not done with the AD&D campaign. It's just on the back burner, but we can always bring it to the front burner whenever we want. So some of you will have already deduced, wait a minute, you're going to have two groups? Well, what are those two groups? And that is a great question. I'm glad I asked it. The first group is going to be a little different. Remember when I said we're going to be doing this by the book? That's not entirely true, because the first group is going to, what we're going to focus on today is our solo guy. I'm going to run a solo campaign. One guy, Chad Solo. What's he like? I don't know. We got to figure out what that character is like. We'll roll him up, hopefully, by the end of the day. We're going to go for about an hour. Got to roll up his starting system. And I'm going to put his system either here or here. I haven't decided which. Bottom, for those of you that are listening to this on the drive, don't look at the screen, watch the road. I'm going to start one group off in the upper left-hand corner of the subsector and one group off in the lower right-hand corner of the sector. Today, we're going to establish what systems there are in these two corners, and over the course of the campaign, we're going to nudge these parties towards each other, and, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 jumps away. So at some point in the next 3 or 4 months, these two groups may start interacting, and that's to circle back to the one-to-one time, while we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, of the real-world calendar. Because once you've got two groups that can interact, you really need to slow down and think things through. Now, as I said, one of these groups is going to be a solo guy. I don't know, maybe he has a scout ship. Maybe he's a caveman. He could be anything in between. The other group, and he's going to be the primary one, the other group is going to be, we all know what travel games are like. This book steers heavily, and it pushes you towards running a tramp steamer. She would fetch a good price in Samarkand, Dr. Jones. So we're going to do that. That's going to be our back burner, though. All right, and that group, this is why I say not entirely rules as written, because I have a campaign in this Traveler style that I've been doing using miniature wargame rules. I've tried the 4-color systems. I've tried, what all have I tried? The 5 parsecs from home, the second edition, not the new glossy version. I've done, what is that one called? Galactic Heroes. I don't know, like 5 or 6. So I have a crew with a starship called the Black Raven. Here, let me go grab it real quick. And unfortunately, so there it is. There's the Black Raven. Isn't that great? Comes from Coruscant Miniatures. This was a gift from Superfan, Mr. Dartmart. Hi, he's in the chat. And so this has shown up on the table a few times. This is the Black Raven. It is probably, in Traveler terms, classed as a 200-ton free trader. All right, so that means right off the bat, we need to build our crew of the Black Raven in such a manner that they have a trader. What does the crew look like? For those of you that have watched the channel, you know this is our leader. This is a guy by the name of Cobalt 15. He is an autonomous robot who was born and assembled for war, and then with the help of his friend Lieutenant Dane, he escaped from his masters. Somehow they got their hands on a ship, and so Lieutenant Dane here is a Marine sniper that helped his friend escape, and they ran off and started having a bunch of adventures. For a Marine sniper, Lieutenant Dane is actually a hand-to-hand boss. We've already established that in the campaign. Now I need to figure out how to squeeze those guys into the Traveler universe. And that's, I don't want to do that until I've generated a character on screen. By the way, they also picked up the Magic Space Baby. This is, again, a little look at this guy. Isn't he great? He's really, really tiny. I don't know if my camera can pick him up really well. But the Magic Space Baby, of course, is going to have psionics. Rules as written. What are the odds that you have a psionic character? Slim to none. And then they also picked up somewhere along the way the Monk E, who is he's a monkey, right? He throws nuts and bolts at people from his cage. So Monk E he's not, again, so we have 2 robots, an alien psionicist, and a marine sniper. And we're going to figure out how to build that as a party. And we'll do that when our calendar gets too far ahead, all right? So that's for later. That's just kind of the general overview of how the campaign is going to work. I'm going to start Chad solo. That's what we're going to call him for now. We may retcon that when we figure out what this guy is like. And here's the first question I have for you guys in the chat. First of all, let me go back to the live chat. The question is, do I generate the character first or the planetary system first? Because I'm starting blank slate here. And as I ask you guys for suggestions, let's not do what everybody else does with Traveler. Oh, it's a mercenary company. Oh, we're at Third Imperium. Hit the bricks, okay? No dice. We're going to have some fun with this. Think wild and crazy stuff, right? Think like water planets where everything is 2 feet deep and giant tidal waves come crashing at you every 40 hours. Right? Think Interstellar. Think about some of the Gonzo Bizarro worlds that you saw on Futurama. Oh, Futurama. That owes a lot to Traveler too. That was an obvious one. Okay. So what do you think? System first, dude first. Now I'm inclined to do the planet first because once I know what the planet is like, then I can start as I'm rolling for my guy. And one of the other things I'll point out, and we'll talk more about this when we get to the crew of the Black Raven, because they're part of another campaign, how do you honor Mark Miller's vision? And the answer to that, briefly, is that wherever we start them, they had a misjump and they landed in this system with their stolen spaceship. And they have to buy repairs. They have to buy, total retrofit. They got to get papers to make so that they're legit. They may have to deal with some unsavory underworld types. All that is going to cost a lot of money. So all we're doing is reskinning. We're going to use the construction rules and the cost rules, and now they owe somebody in this system 150,000 credits a month. So we still have to play the game kind of as is, even though rather than, we bought a ship from a corrupt galactic bank. But I repeat myself, we just have a different starting, right? We didn't build a ship. We just legitimized a ship. Yeah. All right. So we've got. I'm going to be naming everything after people in the chat. So this is the Corvinus system, and this is the Harkwind system up here in the upper left. So Corvinus, lower right. Go subscribe to his channel, by the way. Harkwind up here in the upper left. And what do we got to do next? I am seeing Harkwind says you thought AD&D characters died fast. Oh yeah, we may be having Chad solo the third before we get out of this tonight. Hey, Dented Helmet, welcome aboard. Yeah, we're giving a shout out to Bradford Walker. Look up his blog; it's fantastic. Janov36 made a live show. It's been great watching the solo. I hope you like sci-fi. So if you reach the speed of light, the campaign stops. It's all relative, baby. My copy of the overrules is so old; it's almost as old as I am. Bradford, yeah, this game has only I beat it out of character creation by just 4 years. You know, my mom was like, "No, I'm not going to buy you Traveler, the science fiction role playing game, John. You're only 4 years old." Oh, it took a while, but I forgave her for that. Never played, definitely keen to try it out. Dartmart almost played once back in '82, but had a paper to write. Yeah, he loves the ladies, and the ladies love her. Yeah, we are here with, just so you know, speaking of the ladies, say hello, Biscotti. I got a new light setup. I won't show you. See, it's on the thing. It's so much better. I hope the light's working out a little better for you guys. Necromunda time. R-dubs. I'm telling you, man, we may wind up with a Hiver. I would not be at all disappointed. The way me, myself, and Die played out Modiphius, 5 parsecs from home feels like a streamlined version of Traveler. Yeah, 5 parsecs from home is definitely on my bucket list, but I think, you know, the life is short. Got to pick your battles. Let's see. You've got too many of these going on. Still need to cut up on the 80. Well, there you go, man. All you need to do is take a nice long drive into the countryside. Doing the system first might make things more challenging and fun. Just don't roll up a black hole. And yeah, this is again, right? We're supposed to roll for every hex. And there's a 4-5 on a 4-5 or 6, you've got a system. Well, I've already said, nope, there's one here. Nope, there's one here. All right, I'm already not playing rules as written, so the guys on Twitter can have a field day. Whatever. We'll balance it out somewhere along the way. I am inclined to roll for neighboring systems using a +1 to make this really crowded. Just dump tons in there, and that is by the book. Old Mr. Miller says, hey, if you want, am I pronouncing his name right? It might be, is it Miller or is it Millar? He says you can give +1 if you want to have more, so you have systems on 3 up. Maybe we do that. I don't know. That's the other thing I should point out. The other thing we're going to do before we stop today is I'm going to figure out which systems, like I'm going to do, so I know my 2 home systems are, and after I generate those systems, I'll decide where our solo boy is starting, because I want to kind of like tweak things a little bit to make things a little easier. It's so hard to run a free trader in this game that Cobalt 15 is going to start in the most likely shipping lanes. If one of these doesn't have a shipping lane out of it, we got to start him in the other one, right? So really that's it. Then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to establish which of the 2 neighbor, basically to jump 2. So for today, just to spare everybody the pain of, well, there's a couple of thoughts here. To spare everybody the pain of, let me roll a d6 80 times to figure out where the systems are, and now let me roll 2d6 and do the math 40 odd times to figure out what all those systems are like. I'm just going to, and here it's this simple. I'm gonna roll the 6 stats for our 2 established systems. I'm going to find out where systems are in the jump 2 distances, and then I'm going to figure out what the star ports are and what links there may be just in these 2. So it's basically these 6 and these, no, it's what, this one's only, jump 2 is, yeah, these 6 and these 6. Let's see, 1, 2, no, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, okay. So that's just whether or not there's a system there. And in fact, without further ado, I'm going to do that. I'm going to roll for the 2 adjacent systems, black on the left, white on the right. And on a black on the left means we have a system here. So I'll put a little circle. And then likewise down here, black on the left. And with a 1 or a 2, oh boy, whoever starts here down in Corvinus, there are no systems within a single jump. Then we're going to roll to see if there is a system black and white. And again, I'll roll just where you can see. So we have a system here and then black on the left, and we have a system there. So this, I'm going to shade just to show you. See the 2 is right there? I'm going to shade this black. So these 3 got nothing. And I'm thinking this may wind up being where our solo boy starts, because he's going to have to worm his way onto a jump 2 ship. Now, up here, oh, like I said, I already checked this one. So this is black. And then we're going to roll for black on the left. And we've got 2 systems, one here and one here. And then black is going to be on the bottom for here. And there's nothing there. So we've got ourselves the start. And I'm kind of wishing I would have added the +1. Look at that. We've got 3 down here and 3 up there. What's the next step? Let's go to the rules. And book number 3, I have colored papers. Starships ain't it. We'll go to let's do the Corvinus system first. What do you say? So the first thing we do is, well, we've got a little cheat sheet over here that will help us. Now, like I said, we're just going to do this detailed on these first 2 worlds. But we do need to roll for starports, though. Is there a... Where's my cheat sheet here? All right, throw for each hex. Determine starport type. 2 dice throw and consult the starport table. Okay, so we got a table here. And for those of you that don't know, A starports are the best. They've got full facilities. If I roll boxcars, there is no starport. E is a little more than a landing pad. It's just a cleared circle of rock, and that's all it is. So we'll start up here, and this is why I prefer to roll a scout over any other type of career. Those type S scouts are jump 2. Yeah, all right. So the question then becomes, do we just declare unilaterally that yeah, so this is, Hawkwind is going to be a Class A. And it has to be, because this is where we're going to start the Black Raven up here in the upper left. Has to be Class A. They got full retrofit. Now we roll for the one immediately next door, and with a result of an 8, we get a Class C. The one below that is going to be a Class A, and then the other one will be a Class D. So it goes C, A, and D. Now the question is there a jump lane between Hawkwind and this second unit? And if we check our jump routes, when you go from A to C, there is a lane, jump 1. Okay. So there's a lane right here. When you go from A to C, there is. There's also going to be one right here. So we already have the beginnings of a lovely little shipping lane that we can jump and explore as we go. But what about going from C to D? This 4 on the chart means there's only a lane on a result of a 4 or better. With a 3, there is not. And it's just that easy. What about jump 2? Is there a lane from Hawkwind to this D? To get from A to D, a jump 2, there's only a lane on a 5 or a 6. So there is. Nice little network you got here, pal. And I'm just going to bend it around. I know that's a little unusual, but just like that. So we can go from A to C or A to D, and we're good. I want to put some names on this before we turn our attention down to the southeast. And if you guys don't want me using your name, then just let me know. This C-class world is going to be Blaine's World. Blaine's World! Blaine's World! I am an old man. What can I tell you? What other names look good? Janov 36 is going to be A. So this is Janov 36. I slipped a vowel in there for us. And then, let's see. Bradford Walker and R-Dubs. One per customer. R-Dubs. So, where are we at here? Let's see. This is going to be Bradwalk. That's the name of this D-class system. And I don't know anything about those. I'm not going to detail this at all today. I don't need to. We'll do that when we figure out what's going on with the Black Raven. Now we're going to turn our attention down here to Corvinus, and let's just kind of zoom in there. Once again, I need to figure out what these starports look like. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna roll them up. I get a 9, so that's gonna be a D, an E, and a 7 is a C. D, E, and C. So we are way off in the hinterlands here. D, E, and C. And what did I say Corvinus was? Oh, I didn't even roll for Corvinus yet. Corvinus is a Class C. So we'll go checking our chart, going from C to C. Now, these are all jump 2. So from C to C, from here, from Corvinus to here, there's only a lane on a 6. Denied. From C to E, there is not, no, man, that's the only way. Yeah, no jump lanes. We can check D to E. From D to E, there's a jump lane on a 5 or a 6. Denied. And then from E to C, C to E on a 4 or better. So E to C. So we do have a jump lane here. But that's it. C, let's see, 8, yeah. I'm desperately searching for any way to get a jump lane out from Corvinus. Oh, we're going to be starting our solo game on hard level. Now, I am going to detail Corvinus, and we're going to make up a planet. And if we have time, after character creation, we'll go back and we'll look at these D, E, and C class. Way out here on the fringes. Maybe there's a polity up there in the upper left. I don't know. So the next thing we have to do is roll for, okay, we got starport type. We got our routes determined. World creation. We've got 7 characteristics here. Planetary size, atmosphere, hydrographics. That means water. I cut my teeth as a hydrogeologist. I know about water and dirt. In fact, that's how I make my bones. Population, government, law level, and technological index. And these all really, they relate to each other in some interesting ways. I thought they were just completely random, and you wind up with weird stuff that you have to explain because it's always so random, but it's not entirely. So let's take a look at how we do this. Planetary size is the diameter of the planetary surface, stated in thousands of miles. All right, so planetary size looks a little something like this. We have, oh, by the way, this is, I think it's hexadecimal. When you get to 10, you write a 10 down as A, an 11 down as B, and a 12 down as C. So we're going to roll, but it's not just a straight D10 roll. It's D10 minus 2. Let's see, planetary size. The resulting value from 1 to 10. All right, well, then why do we have B and C on here? I don't know. So let's find out how big Corvinus is. With a result of a 7, Corvinus is going to be 7,000 miles in diameter. And I think, well, how big is Earth? Like 7,000 miles? I can't remember. Yeah, I should know this. I just bragged about being a geologist. But like I said, I know dirt, not planets. The second thing we do is planetary atmosphere. And we write that down. We're going to generate a character roster that's going to look like this. We have a 7 for size. Then the second digit is always going to be atmosphere. Planetary atmosphere is generated using throw 2 dice, subtract 7, and add the planetary size. All right, well, minus 7 plus 7 is, carry the 1, 0. Straight roll, we get a 5 for the atmosphere, and we have a very thin atmosphere. What does that mean? Thin and dense are breathable without assistance. Okay, so 7, 5, so thin atmo, and that will make a difference on our, I think it's our next roll, for the hydrographic percentage. We will roll 2 dice, subtract 7, add the size, so we're still at 0, and if the atmosphere is a 1, 0, or 9, meaning if there's no atmosphere, then you reduce that somewhat, but we just have a straight throw in this case. With a 10, our hydrographic percentage is going to be A, all water. So we got ourselves a water world. All right, water world. Corvinus has the water world. Then we check out, let's see, further DM, let's see, further planetary atmosphere. Yeah, we don't worry about that. Okay. We did starports already. Then the next one is population. This indicates as an exponent of 10. Thus, a population of 6 means the world has approximately 1 million people. See the population table. Okay. Roll 2 dice. Subtract 2. The result is a range from 0 to 10. Also, see notes on population at the end of this section. What? At the end of this section. What? Not helpful, guys. Not helpful. So, I thought there was... let's see. See, thus a population digit of 6 indicates approximately 1 million. So, this may... I thought there was another deal. Another modifier to this based on size. Oh, just... They talk about density. All right. So, how dense is this water world? With a result of a 9, it's got a billion people. No, it's -2. So, again, we have 7. It's got about 10 million people on it. All right, 10. How many tens of millions does it have? I'm going to roll a d6 to find out. It's got 10 million. This, of course, is the logo for my local game store, Other Realms. If you're ever in Honolulu, I highly recommend you check it out. Hydrographic percentage, and then now you see why I don't want to do this 40 times, right? We are off to population, planetary government. How is the planet run? 2 dice, subtract 7, and then add the population digit, which is 7. Okay. We get a 5 for the government type. It is a feudal technocracy. Feudal technocracy. What does that mean? Ruling functions are performed by specific individuals who agree to be... for people who agree to be ruled by them. Relationships are based on the performance technical activities which are mutually beneficial. So we have a symbiotic relationship between the ruled and the rulers. That's not too bad. All right. I'm digging it. We're getting there. And then law level, this digit represents how strict are they. Law level is determined from 2 dice, -7, plus the government type. So -7 plus 5 means we're going to subtract 2 to find out how bad it is. On a 5, pistols and revolvers are prohibited. Okay, so that's a total of 5. So our 6-digit code is 75A755 with a C-class starport. What do we got here? Let's see, light assault weapons are prohibited. Oh, right, so and everything above that is as well. So most firearms, except shotguns, are prohibited. The type of... let's see, most firearms, shotguns... So personal concealable firearms, we get down to 8. So you can have long-bladed weapons and shotguns, but you can't be walking around with no pistols. All right. Well, what is it? Law 5. I'll just write that down there. We got to come up with that. Then the last thing you have to figure out is technological levels, and this is going to be a number anywhere from 0 to 18. A 0 means you're stuck with clubs, cudgels, and whatnot. Laser rifles show up at tech level 9. Where does StarCraft appear? Special computers, adding machines at 4, carbines at 1. I'm guessing where? Let's see, mesh, body pit. I would have thought so. Television shows up at tech level 6, so that's probably about the 50s. A body pistol, so this is probably about the 80s. Well, pulse lasers show up. So that must be like right about now, I would think. I wish they would show vehicles on that chart. Oh, look at that. There's vehicles. Land vehicles, hovercraft, number 9. Space, starships appear at 9. All right, so we're at 8 as we sit here now. Non-star, somewhere around 7 or 8. Oh, fusion is 8. Yeah, we're stuck here at tech level 7 in the real world. But what is the tech level of our starting world? How do we figure that out? Let's see. Technological. Determine DMs from matrix and throw one die. Oh, this gets a little bit more complicated. Okay, let's zoom in on this table because this is really clever. This is what I meant by these things interact. To figure out what your tech level is, you figure out first, you're going to roll a single D6, and you're going to subject it to these modifiers. So D6. Now, if you have an A-class starport, you're going to add 6 to the roll, meaning A-class starports are far more likely to occur at tech level. Well, the minimum would be 7, right? You're not going to have an A-class starport hovering over a world with a tech level of 0. But what do we have? And this is why I wrote all this down individually. So we have a C-class starport. So we are automatically going to be at +2 on our die roll. Checking the size, if it is a small size planet, you're more likely to have a star if you're higher tech level. Okay. What is our atmosphere at? Our atmosphere is right in the middle, so nothing there. We're at a total of +2. Our hydrosphere was at A. Look at that. So we're going to be at +2 for that. We're at a total of +4. You gotta be technologically savvy to live in a water world, whatever, regardless of what Kevin Costner says. And then population. Remember, our population number was 5, which is going to be right here. Oh, we're at +1. And our government level is 5, so we're at +1 for that. So we are at a total of +6 on this die roll. All right, so I'm kind of liking this water world. Skadoosh! There we go. Tech level 12. Oh, no, not 12. Silly me. They're confusing me because they've got 12 written over here. Well, no, it is tech level 12, isn't it? We don't use hexadecimal for this, do we? It would it's tech level C, isn't it? All right, I'm going to check in on the chat. So now we got, look at this. So here's what we got. We have a high tech. They get Model 6. This doesn't mean anything to us yet. But we have a high tech water world with about 10 million people. Excuse me. Oh, my bird is grooming herself, and the dander's starting to get to me. Fortunately, I've got coconut LaCroix with, I add a little bit of lemon from my tree out front. Fresh picked moments before it goes in for that hit of vitamin C. Looking good. So tech level 12, grav belts, drives N or less. I don't know what that means, but we do have starships. This is good. This is good. It means we're likely able to make that jump to the nearby star if we want to explore the neighborhood. We may be happy with our neighborhood. We may do a whole water planet campaign with this side. But I'm going to now turn my attention to the chat. This stuff is why you don't need my third Imperium. The best traveler setting is the best as AD&D. The bespoke one, you roll up and play. When you make up your stuff, you have an investment level no one else does. And anyway, who wants to play with sloppy seconds in a campaign world? Gross. Ugh. Let's see. Yep. Oh, good. I'm glad you know. If you object, I'll erase it. If I use your name and you don't like it, name a place after my late mother, Joan Alice. I'll make a note of that. We got to use Joan Alice. I would love to. We'll immortalize her as best we can. Way out on the fringes, an aptly named system. Yeah, maybe my character is studying weird languages, weird alien languages. Corvinus, how about that, huh? Try 12K. Tiny moon, 12K. Wait, 8,000 miles for Earth. Yeah, there we go. This reminds me of a table in the AD&D Old World Builder's Guide. Yeah, I've been saying 12K. 12,000 kilometers, 8,000 miles. Yeah, anytime you have a water planet, you got to make that. Although, there was a game, Blue Planet, that looked kind of interesting. But again, it was one of those games that was made to be read, not played. Government 5 is my favorite. Yeah, Landscape in space, no guns. Well, there's guns, man. There's shotguns. You can have them, just don't let the law find out. Shauner, you have an app for that. Yeah, I thought about firing up the old laptop and using, there's Donjon, Donjon, has a system generator for you. With a click of a button, you get everything you need. But there's something soulful and tactile You could have a robot or a machine 3D carve a marble replica of Michelangelo's David, and it wouldn't have the same impact because you need to put a little bit of yourself into the things you do. It comes out, it shows. And so this is why I am using the paper stuff for all of this. I may go ahead and develop these other worlds off screen just because this was fun as a one off. But I don't know, man. Do we really want to go through this process like 40 times? Or is it better if I just come in and go, hey guys, this is what we got. Hit me up. So I'm seeing, what do we think here? GURPS Blue Planet is made to be read. GURPS in general, made to be read and to dream about. Oh man, wouldn't it be fun to play this? And then never do it. With the exception, I've always been impressed with Dungeon Fantastic. It's one of the blogs, look it up. What's the guy's name that does that? He runs dungeons in GURPS, and it's really fun. He does a great job with his after-action reports. About the only guy that does. Let's see, either major surface maritime culture. Are we thinking like floating rafts? Are we? What are we thinking here? Sentient sharks with lasers. Part of the fun is flipping through the charts and rolling. Yeah, I put blood. My app is powered by blood. It's Vampire 6. It's easier to come up with planet details when I take the time to roll it myself. Yeah, because it like evolves before your eyes, right? And now that we've got kind of this blurry snapshot, I think maybe the best thing to do is to turn our attention to old Chad Solo and run through the character creation system. And we can kind of like, once we know what our boy is like, we can shape the world. The world is going to shape him, and he is going to shape the world. And we'll have to figure out what kind of patron he can find, because that will help shape the world as well. Maybe we run an encounter, like a basic encounter or two. We've got this lovely chart here for, where is it? Is it in Adventures? There's Trade. Yeah, we're not there yet. Oh, do I have a cheat sheet for that? I have some cheat sheets in here. I don't know where I put those. Those would be handy to keep up front. But the random encounter stuff has like, is it soldiers? Is it tourists? Is it, here we go, take a look. Page 21. All right, so here's some of the, you can encounter adventurers, a noble, fugitives, bandits, merchants. And I think what you do is you roll up a couple of three of these, and these are what really give the world its characteristics, okay? Our water world, is it a tourist destination? If I roll up and I get tourists twice in a row, I think so. Is it like Neptunians? Is it a bunch of religious nuts? Is it like fishy-headed mutants for the most part? Are we like outside of Devil's Reef? Is Corvinus like Innsmouth in space? I don't know. And this is the joy of solo gaming, is that you can take your time and you can generate a few of these little things that help steer the direction of your creativity. And once you lock it down, then you can start, right? One of the nice things about this rule set is, it's up to the GM, happens a lot. So, we can start tweaking those encounter tables based on the planet that we're on. But we don't need to do that yet. First, we need to figure out what our basic stats are. And here we got to go all the way to the beginning. All right. We have everything we need. We have to generate some stats. We have 6 stats, and I'm going to write it out. Now, again, your character will have a 6-digit code, a UPC code, if you will. This is called the UPP, the like unitary planetary profile, whereas this is the like international character profile, 6 digits. But I'm not the smartest. I told you, you don't want to watch this to learn how to play. This is us just goofing around and learning from each other. And soak is how socialism you are. I'm gonna roll 2 black dice for this one. So this is easy. They range from 2 to 12. 7 is considered average. Makes sense to me. Ultimately, they may range from 1 to 15. Characteristics may never exceed 15. All right. You may have seemingly unsatisfactory values. We may wind up playing on a playing this on Hurt Me Plenty. So we just roll 6 times, and we get a 3. So he's a wuss. We get an A. Remember, the 10 is an A. His endurance is going to be 8. So he's a shooter, and he's not too smart. We got a 5 intelligence. Education is A. So he's nimble, he's smart, and he's got a 6 for his socializing. If we'd rolled a 3, he would have been homeschooled. Rank. So what do we do next? Once generated, a character should be named. Should we carry the name of the player? No, we'll name him in a minute. Enlistment. A character may choose one of the 6 services: Navy, Marines, Army, Scouts, Merchants, or other, and attempt to enlist. The prior service table gives the service entrance throw. Terms of service, they last 4 years. So our boy starts out at 18 years old. And he enlists in one of these career paths. See here? And then we get some benefits. But there's also some like penalties for stuff. How does that work? Prior service, table of ranks, acquired skills. They may choose to enlist in one of the 6. The enlistment throw for the Navy is 8 up. Where do we have that? And this will help us define our skills too. Table of ranks. Here we go. Enlistment. For the Navy, you need to roll an 8 up. For the Marines, a 9 up. But if you have these stats, if your dexterity and endurance are both greater than 6, then you get a little +1. For Scouts, if your intelligence is we're dull, so we don't get any, and we're weak, so Scouts is right out the window. Where our guy is not very strong, so we could enlist in other, and then you need a 3 up to do that, and then you survive on a 5 up. Our endurance is 8 up, so we're very survivable if we can get into the Marines. I think we got to go Army. Our intelligence is not good enough for the bonus on survival, right? So we pick one of these. What do you guys think? I'm interested. Those of you that have played this before, you guys that are familiar, so is the best. Yeah, charisma is not a dump stat, but mine is 6, which is not great. But there does Mr. Joy of Wargaming. I'd like to organize some online change. Oh, do I do online? Yeah, shout out. Put a link, man. I do not have a Discord. The only way I communicate, I'm an old man and I can't keep track of all these things. So all I have is basically my formerly known as Twitter account. Navy. Are we thinking Navy? Be all you can be. I think. Or do we want to try starting with the Army? Because remember, if you miss your enlistment throw, what happens? The draft. For example, the enlistment throw required is an 8. Only one enlistment attempt is permitted. If rejected, he may submit to the draft. Should an attempt at enlistment fail, the character must submit to the draft. Each of the 6 services has a draft number, roll 1 die, and enter the service with that draft number. Oh, so you don't get to choose then. It's possible to be drafted into the service that rejected you. Oh, the stone that was rejected. But this is where we have the most control, guys. I think we got to go Army. With a dexterity of A, we get a +1. And with an endurance of 8, we get a +3 to this roll. So all we need to do is roll a 2. We're guaranteed to get into the Army. And then once we're in, because we've got the education of A, we're at +2. So the only way we die is on a roll of a Snake Eyes. On the other hand, if we try to get through the Marines, our endurance is 8. Oh, we do have the +2 on the Marines too. We got a +1. Marines, and then for the Navy, our intelligence and education we're going to get a +2 to this. We can get into the Navy on a 6-up. What does the Navy do for us? It gets this ship's boat, vac suit, forward observer, gunnery. Guys, we're going to be living on a water world. We got to pick Navy. We got to. We're on a water world. No Marines? Yeah, I don't know about Marines, man. We're going to have a rough time getting into there. You need to roll an 8 or better. If we go into the Navy or Marines, we get a +1 for our intelligence and a +2 to survive because of our education. Not that kind of Navy. Dry land is... Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, Harkwind, bear in mind, if I have forward observer, I can use that in both orbital and land side abilities, right? Dry land is a myth. All right, let's check let's see the vote here. What do we got here? We've got the chat is saying we've got 1 for Navy, 3 for Army, 2nd for Navy. So I got 3 for Navy and 3 for Army. So I'm going to roll on 1, 2, 3. We're going into the Navy. The dice want us to go into the Navy. Because we're going into the Navy with an intelligence of 8, well, that doesn't do us any good. The education is 9 up, so we need a 6 or better to get into the Navy. We get a 7. We're in. Now, we have to roll our survival roll at +2. We're trying to get a 5. And we get a 3. +2 is a 5. We just snuck in, man. We just barely survived the giant space shark attacks. All right. Do we get a commission? If our social is high, which it's not, do we get a 10 or better? Look at that. We just got ourselves a commission. We got commissioned in the Navy despite having no contacts. All right, so he earned his commission. I have no idea what that means, but I'm very excited about it. Did he get a promotion? We have a +1 to this role. Am I doing this right? I think that's if you enlist for a 2nd term. We barely survived our 1st term, and we got a commission. We must have earned some honors. That's how we got our commission, right? Settle down, this guy. We've only got like 8 minutes left. It'll be all right. All right, so then we add 4 years to the character's age. And let's see, the draft, survival, yeah, we did that. Each term of service involves some danger. Yeah, we know about that. Commissions, each service has a commission number. If it's rolled, you must have the starting number. So here we go, skills. For the initial term of service, we get 2 skills. Because we got a commission, we get another skill. So we get 3 skills, and we get to roll on personal. So we can have a D6 roll against these characteristic increases. We can get a skill. We can earn... Oh, that's advanced education. I don't think we're there yet. I think we get to roll 3 on these. Oh, but there's... Yeah, so let's do... We get 3. Let's roll once on each. The black one is going to be on the personal. The white one will be on the service skills. Oh, the white one will be on the service skills. So we get a 4 +1 social. So we learned our social goes up to 7. And on the service skills, we learned how to use a vac suit. That could come in handy. So the rank 1 is ensign. Do we become a lieutenant because of that commission? Are we rank 2 now? Does everybody start at rank 1? Enlistment, the draft, terms of service, skills, and training. In order to be commissioned, he must throw the stated number. If a commission is achieved, he acquires level 1 rank in his service. So ensign solo. He may attempt to acquire a commission once per term until he is successful, but may not attempt one during his 1st term if he is a draftee. That's right. We have one more. Do we want to... I thought there was... Of the 4 acquired skill tables, the first 3 may always be used by a character, so you can use advanced education. Ooh. Jack of all trades. During a character's initial term, he becomes eligible for 2 skills. During each additional term, he becomes eligible for 1. Upon achieving his commission, he gets 1. Upon being promoted, he gets 1. So he joins the Navy, is commissioned, and is promoted during his initial term of service. Oh, so we can be promoted during our initial term of service. I have to roll a 7 or better. Normally it's 8, but because I am so highly educated, it becomes a 7. So I didn't get I didn't make lieutenant in my first term. All right, so go figure. Our guy from the water world. Maybe he's from this world. I was going to dump him here, but maybe he grew up on Corvinus. DMs are cumulative. Yeah, we got that. I don't know about this advanced. I feel like I'm missing something on that advanced table. But there's also, I thought there were skills that you automatically received based on your path, but I don't see it here. This is mustering out. This is sort of, we'll probably wind up doing 3 terms of service. We'll get out at 30. In the same, let's see, survival terms of service. Like I thought for sure Marines automatically get the skill Cutlass, but I can't find that now. Commission, re-enlist, table of ranks. The specific weapon characters during each term and acquire skills based on eligibility. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So everybody can use every skill at 0, at least player characters can. But when I have to make a check with Vac Suit, I'm at +1. It's a 2d6. Try to get 8 or better. I will succeed on a 7 or better, which puts me at a little better than 50%. All player characters have an innate weapon expertise. Brawling, when acquired. And all weapons of 1/2. Okay, acquisition of expertise in a weapon boosts this to 1 level. That's combat. That ain't it. Jameson, look at that guy. More chins than a Chinese phone book. Rank and service. Some skills accrue to a character automatically. When you are a Navy captain, you get +1. Oh, I'm not a captain, though. Army, yeah, this is what I was thinking of. Marines automatically get Cutlass. Army gets Rifle 1. But in the Navy, you got to get to captain before you get that +1 social. So that's our first turn. We survived. Yay! Now, if I want to re-enlist, do I need to... the possibility of war, peace, and other considerations. Each service, a character must throw... Let's see. In order to undertake a subsequent term of service, he must throw that number or greater. No DMs are allowed. If the throw is not successful, re-enlistment is denied. He must leave the service. If the throw is a 12, the needs of the service require the character must serve another term regardless of his desires. The re-enlistment throw is required to be made during each term of service. Okay. So, enlistment is an 8. Re-enlist is just a 6 up. Do I get to do a second term in the Navy? I've rolled a 7, so I do. That means I have to make another survival roll, and I get a total of 8. I'm at +2, so I survived. And now, am I commissioned on this one? I get a 4. I do not get a commission, but do I get promoted? I need a 7. I do not. So because I went through another term, that means I get another skill, and I'm going to take... let's see. Do I want to shoot for one of these? Jack of all trades? Ship's boat? Maybe I could be a pilot. Gun combat? Yeah, let's take service skills. I get a 5. Oh, gun combat. What do you know? Gun combat. And I guess we take shotgun, because we know that's legal on this planet. That's what they're teaching people. And then we have one more cycle to go through. Our third term is going to be, do we re-enlist on a 6 or better? And 8 means we do. Do we survive? And 9 means we do. Are we commissioned? A 6 means we're not. And are we promoted? A 7, we have an education. A 7 means we're promoted. That means we are now lieutenant. On our third term, we reach lieutenant. Lieutenant Solo gets, he got his commission. Oh, he got his promotion plus the term. So I get 2 more. The black is on top. The white is, we're going to go advanced. So we get a +1 endurance, and we get engineering. So his endurance goes to 9, and he has engineering +1. And I think we're good. I'm happy with those 3 terms. What do you guys think? Should we push our luck for 1 more? When you get gun or blade, you have to specify a specific firearm. Unarmed fighting is brawling. Yep. Vac suit is handy. You are rank 0 unless you're commissioned. When you get out, look up the master skill list. Scouts automatically get pilot 1 is huge, and the ship, I hear you. I think I'm good with a 30-year-old. He has survived, and he is going to muster out. But you have to roll the re-enlistment roll regardless. If I get boxcars, they need me. They don't need me. All right, now we get the fun stuff. We are going to muster out. We are in the Navy. So what does that mean? When we material benefits. When a character leaves the service, he is eligible for mustering out. The 2 mustering out tables indicate the nature. Table 1 provides travel, education, and material. Table 2 provides cash severance. Each table is matrix. 1 benefit is allowed for each term of service. So I get 3. If I have achieved rank 1 or 2, I get an extra, which I do. All right, so I get 4 rolls. A character with rank 5 or, 6 can add 1. Any character who has acquired gambling can add 1. Character is free to choose one or the other or both, but in no case can he consult table 2 more than 3 times. So I get 2 here and 2 here. I am going to roll 2 black dice for table 1 and 2 white dice for table 2. So I get a +1 intelligence and a +2 social. My intelligence goes to 6. My social goes to 9. And let's hear it for the chat making the call. Social is really handy. On the cash allowance, I got a 6 and a 1, which means I am mustering out with 51,000 credits to my name. I can afford to travel large. Wait a minute, what is this? Oh, that's aging table. We didn't do a 4th term, so I don't have to worry about that. More turns? No. When you get gunner blade, we're good. We're happy with the 30-year-old. He's young. He's smarter than I expected. He's still, remember, this guy's this guy is not going to be hired for muscle, is he? So here's kind of what he looks like. He's got endurance of 9. That's going to come in handy. That means he's robust. He can take a punch. Intelligence of 6, a little on the low side. Education A, social 9. Look at that. That's incredibly nimble. That's gonna. Oh, I wonder. Man, I wonder if I wanted to do that. If he's that nimble, does shotgun apply with? Let's take a look at the guns here. I may change my mind on that one. If you have a shotgun, what kind of bonus do you get for? Here we go. Let's see. Shotgun is 18, blah, blah, blah. 1 shot is fired for each pull of the trigger. This might not be the best for a guy with high dex. I may want to go with revolver. I know they're not legal, but, you know, it's what I rolled. I'm thinking shotgun for deck clearing, you know? Combat resolution, the basic throw. All DMs to basic throw to hit are cumulative. Movement. On a water world, a rifle might be good. There's encounter range. I'm telling you, leader tactical. I have military experience, so I get a +1 on that. Rifle or carbine. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take your word for it. Let's remember that long guns. Well, wait a minute. Are long guns illegal, or is it just handguns? I got to look back at our law level. Law level 5. Is it's not quite full Hawaiian spirit of aloha supersedes the Constitution, but that may be kind of where we're at. Yeah, maybe this is new Hawaii. Let's see. Most firearms except shotguns are prohibited. Carrying light assault weapons. Yeah, well, that's not a long gun though, is it? Pistols and revolvers are prohibited. Weapons of a strict military nature, such as Machine guns or automatic rifles. I'm assuming a long gun is a light assault weapon. Long-bladed weapons are strictly controlled. I should take spear gun as my... is spear gun even an option? Maybe he's a spear fisherman, right? Maybe harpoon? Can I take harpoon as my gun of choice? He's not strong enough to wield the harpoon, though, is he? We got our... Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a character. And I'm not talking about the host of the show. Are we done? Material objects? But I still haven't satisfied myself with the combat section. We don't have a spaceship. We didn't roll one of those, which means we're stuck on this planet until somebody comes along to pick us up, until we hire on. Maybe that's our goal. Cylindrical magazines carry, shotguns are equipped with a sling before carrying. Maybe you do. Cutlass, let's take a look here at the combat section. Basic concept, escape avoidance. Each character indicates his movement and attacks his target. Because the effects of range are so important, short, medium, and long, each combatant makes him, if the basic throw is 8, the weapon matrix indicates the weapon armor relation. The range indicates the effectiveness. The weapon table effects of strength and dexterity. Yeah, so the weapon table does indicate that. It is in that table. It's just hiding from me. Let's see if we can find that table. Base weight, rounds, clips, overall length. Well, that's weight and prices. Here's our weapon matrix. And it says defender's armor. So that's not what I want. Range matrix, wound inflicted, close. So a shotgun is at -8 at close range, and then it goes up to +1 at short and +3 at medium range. So it's really hard to shoot a guy with a shotgun when he's up in your grill. But if you can back off to just like 3 feet away, what did we say medium range was? Kind of curious to how that works. So if you are at short range, yeah, close is if you're touching. It's hard to get your barrels together when you're sword fighting. At medium range, it's 6 to 50 meters. Yeah, so if you're at 1 to 5 meters, that guy's dodging back and forth. You're only at +1. You need that spread from 6 to 50 meters. And there's 3 of those. So basically, this is our melee range. Short range is just one of these. So medium is these 3 range bands. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 long range. And then this is very long, V, 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 V. So this is the sweet spot for our shotgun right here. I'm liking that. I think that works. But it still doesn't say on the weapon table. Oh, here we go. Okay, so with a shotgun, if you have the required dexterity, your difficulty modifier is -1. Oh, if you have a dex of 9 or better, which we do, then the die modifier is -1. Oh, no. Up to 4. If your dexterity is up to 4, you're at -1. If you're above 9, you're at +2 or +1, which we are. Although if we go with a revolver, we only get +1. Carbine +1. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think this is the way to go, guys. Because that shotgun, it doesn't make any difference unless we get an automatic rifle, but those are highly illegal. So I'm going to write that down here, shotgun, and then that's going to be dex equals a +1. So I'm at +2, man. When I unload with this thing, I'm normally hitting on, and if I'm in my sweet spot, I'm at a total of +5. Anything but snake eyes, you are eating buckshot. You are picking lead out of your teeth. So we're getting ourselves a shotgun. And then we muster out, and then we're out on the streets, right? And we're ready for some adventures, but we don't know exactly what we're doing yet. So I think we're an hour in. This took a while, but we got a lot done. We got a planet done. We know something about that planet. Yeah, gun combat is specific. I feel like I'm missing something. You know what I'm going to do here? Mustering out when a character leaves the service. One benefit, for example, and then aging is nothing. The UPP. Non-player characters, yeah, those are good. It's okay, Biscotti. We're almost done. What does it say for when you're done? Skills and benefits. Oh, I guess maybe we should go to the book on adventure. So this is, the book 3 is Worlds and Adventures. And this is where Mr. John, Mr. Wargaming, when he wore a younger man's clothes, the following are personal survival items often needed by individuals. I didn't buy any stuff yet. One alternative to travel allowances. That is kind of a good point here. I have 51,000 credits. I will buy a really cool car, and maybe this is the Navy, so maybe my wife crashed it while she was cheating on me while I was on deployment. I understand that's a thing. Basic skills, brawling. We did weapon expertise, and then we go through the skills. Vac suit, right? Non-breathable atmosphere. But hey, this makes sense because I'm down on a water planet. Vac suit is also applicable to scuba. Maybe he's an underwater welder, except he's not strong enough for that, is he? The use of standard vacuum suits, including armored battle dress and suits for use on various planetary surfaces, and the presence of exotic, corrosive, or insidious atmospheres, which underwater counts as. That counts as 100% humidity. All right, other benefits. If we did 5 terms, we got an extra 4,000, but that's whatever. Travel allowance. The mustering out makes a variety of benefits available, which may be classed. Such allowances take 3 basic forms: money, passage, and traveler's aid. The travelers have aids, but we didn't get any of those. Those are, so you can earn. See this low passage when you muster out. You can earn a high passage. If I'd rolled a 6, then that's a free jump 1 on a transport vessel. Is it high passage up to 1 ton of baggage? High passages cost 10,000. First class accommodations. Maybe I could have jumped over to those other 2 planets and started to explore. Travelers Aid Society is a private organization which maintains hostels, friendly hostels. Membership may be purchased for 1,000,000 credits. No, thank you. The general class of material, one alternative to travel allowances is specific benefits to Blade are stated in Table 1. Starships, character alterations, rank and service. I think we're good. I think we're done. Equipment. Yeah, so I got to buy some equipment and figure out what I'm going to do with this money. Maybe we'll buy a share in a waterborne craft, and maybe we'll tweak the encounter tables. Maybe there's pirates we got to worry about. Maybe this is a pirate planet on the water. Maybe of those 10 million people, 1 million of them are a plutocracy, and maybe that's why everything is outlawed. Vision aids, hand calculator, so we can buy these personal devices. Remember, we're at a crazy high-tech level. The following are indications of prices for food and basic survival. Basic cuisine on a daily basis costs 10 credits per day. Subsistence, I'm not worried about that. A ground car, look at that. I was joking, but a ground car costs 40,000 creds, an ordinary self-powered vehicle suitable for local use in civilized areas. Has a range of 1,000 kilometers. Let me play around a little bit. We'll come back in a few days. Obviously, an all-terrain vehicle isn't going to work. Maybe I buy myself a car, or maybe I become a water Uber. That's not an option. Oh, water vehicles, small steamship, motorboat is 600,000. Oh, they require little skill to operate. If under 500 tons, larger vessels require crews. Oh, so a steamship is 1 to 500 tons. A motorboat is 60 to 100. Advanced small craft utilize hydrofoils, and a submersible. If I had 2 million, I could buy myself a submarine. Routine encounters. Adventurers meet ordinary people in the course of ordinary activity. All right, that's it. I think we're good, man. He's going to walk. Is the water world like Bioshock? That's a great point. Note that if your dex gets dinged, your DMs for shooting also go down when the score drops below that threshold. Hey, that's a good point. Thank you, Bradford, for that. And you know, come to think of it, let's do a little bit of world building here, because this makes sense. Remember that we're on a feudal world. It has a pretty good starport, but long guns are outlawed, but shotguns are not. Do you know why that is? Because, and maybe this is a Bioshock thing, everybody lives in undersea domes. If you fire a long rifle when you are at that kind of pressure, the whole dome is going to collapse, almost like a tour ship, right? We're talking, you know what I'm talking about. You guys spend too much time on the internet. So it makes perfect sense in that. So let's put this up here, right? Underwater domes. And why does everybody live in these underwater domes? Because the surface is too stormy. So any kind of vehicle that you have has to be submersible. There are only a few giant rigs that allow the landing of crafts. The starport is, whatever starports are there, are enormous, like oil drilling rigs that allow for the landing of a couple of starships at a time, or maybe even just shuttles, because you have to be atmospherically capable, like stay tuned, like the Black Raven is. And now we understand why this world says no long guns. Bladed weapons are fine, shotguns are fine, but if you get caught with a long barrel gun, they're going to make you take a long walk out, or even a short walk out of the nearest airlock is not going to go good for you. So we got ourselves a theme. Now, I don't know exactly, there's a little bit more we need to figure out about this world, and that's going to be like, what is our patron going to look like? And it takes a week to find a patron. And in that week, if you don't find anybody, you have a good chance of having a daily encounter, right? You check for these every day. Random encounters. Some random encounters are mandated by the referee. Well, we don't have one of those, so we're going to cheat. There is a 1/3 chance a group will be met on any given day. So why don't we do that? And we're just going to sketch this out. We'll come back here in a few days. We're going to try to find in this first week a patron. And how often is it? Rumors are absent. Okay, in a single week, you may devote your time to encountering a patron. We're looking for work. We got 51,000 credits. We're going to frequent the bars, taverns, clubs. 1 throw is allowed for the entire band. A result of a 5 or 6 indicates a patron has been found. 2 dice are then thrown consecutively. So in this first week, do we find a patron? A 1. We do not. So we have to roll 7 chances for daily encounters. Well, I'll just run on a 5 or 6. We have one. So there's a day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So in this first week, we had no encounters. We're just kind of bumming around. That means it is now February 15th, and I have to see if I find a patron on a 5 or a 6. With a 5, I do. What day do I find him on? 1 through 6. On day 1, there's still a chance that I encounter a random person on a 5 or a 6. And on a result of a 1, I don't. So I found myself a patron, and this is, I think, going to be the last roll we make. Here is the patron chart to find out what he wants me to do. And I'm going to laugh if I get snake eyes, because arsonist at a water world. So here we go. Snake eyes. The black die is going to be the top row, and the white die will be the column. I got a 6 and a 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. An administrator has called me. What does that mean? I run into an administrator, and he says, oh, what kind of reaction? This is the other thing we need to do. So I have a, reactions. The following apply. Dice rolls of 2 and 12 or not. Subject characters of 5 or more terms. He gets a +1. All right, planetary population is 11 or greater. It's not. All right, so I just roll a straight 2d6, and on an 8, he's interested. So I'm bumming around, and an administrator has expressed some interest in hiring my guy with his vac suit skill, his gun combat, and his engineering. There's a little bit more fun I can have. Let's see, rumors, employees, spy. Administrator is probably the most boring one I could think of, but that's all right. So in our next, and it's, remember one-to-one time, we will encounter that administrator on, so we mustered out. So Chad musters out. Chad goes forth, and then he bums around for a week, and then on Friday, February 23rd, Chad meets Patron. And when we get together next, we'll figure out what that patron has in mind for him. Any suggestions before we cut out? He probably suffers from... Oh, wait. Okay, let's see. Are we sure the underwater habitats are attached to the seafloor? The surface might be too cold. Yeah, it came for space, but even better, we got a water world. Maybe the surface is too cold. Maybe that's the thing. I like that. Let me add that. The surface, it's not just that it's high winds, but there are huge icebergs floating all over the place. And it takes an enormous amount of energy to move the starport around to stay away from those icebergs. Yeah, maybe they're dug out of a huge glacier, or maybe the spaceport is on the largest of the glaciers. And the habitats are drifting around in the deep. Indiana Jones-like quest. Yeah, I like that, Dart. Giant Portuguese man-o-wars. Maybe that's their chief export. That's the other thing I do. So what we'll do next time, let me write this down. We have to figure out our administrator patron is interested in hiring us. I also want to figure out, and maybe this is a good time to roll for chief exports. Like, what does Corvinus do? Why is it an interesting place? I think the way to handle this as a solo player is to figure out who approaches us for the administrator, because it's a little vague here, right? And we like that. Patron's agreement with a band of adventurers we're summoned by, and who is it that summons us? I'm going to roll on this, and the black die is the tens place, 16. So some thugs. So we're braced by 7 thugs. Hey, me and my friends, we're watching you from across the bar, and we like your vibe. Come meet with the administrator. So we're recruited by thugs. If we had been recruited by tourists, we might have been a tour guide. If we were recruited by, merchant or fugitives, vigilantes had approached us, I would have said, cool, we got to do some bounty hunting. I'm going to flesh out the word a little bit here in the downtime. And then the last thing I think we can do is find out what is this world's chief export. And for that, we go to the starships and the trade and commerce. I'm going to do a primary and a secondary, and that's going to further flesh out. So when you're using this table as trade, it looks a little something like this. We'll kind of zoom in a little closer and try to get it to focus. There we go. So we're just going to roll. And again, the black is the tens dice. And a 33 means meat. And a 36 means pharmaceuticals. So chief exports, the primary is meat and pharma. So in other words, the manufacturing on this planet is pharmaceuticals that are taken from the glands of the giant man-o-war. They're not Portuguese, they're Corvinus. So I'll add that to giant man-o-war. And of course, the meat comes from the double-humped Corvinus whale. That's what we're exporting. Space whaling. I love it. Undersea space whaling. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is going to be fun. I really appreciate you guys coming along. We went a little long today, but I am here for it. But I'm not here for it anymore because I got to go eat dinner. Thanks for coming along, guys. You're the best. I'm praying for you.